Hi, I'm Julianne Cost. In the next few minutes, we're going to discover several tips for importing files into Lightroom Classic. We'll start by looking at two preferences. I'll choose the Lightroom Classic menu. On Windows, you would choose the Edit menu, and then Preferences. In the General Preferences, under the Import options, Lightroom Classic automatically displays the Import window when a camera card is inserted into the computer. Now this is helpful if you want to import the files, but it can also be distracting if you don't want to import them. So to disable this feature, we can uncheck the Show Import dialog when a memory card is detected. Also, by default, when Lightroom Classic's finished importing files, it automatically displays the imported images. So if you are working on other images while importing files, this automatic switching of focus from whatever folder you are currently working with to the imported files folder might be distracting. So to disable this feature, we can turn off Select the current previous import collection during import. The photos will still be imported, but the focus won't automatically change at the end of the import. All right, next let's take a look at the import window. Across the top, there are two arrows. We can click on those arrows in order to quickly access default and recent source locations, as long as we're copying as DNG, copying, or moving. When we choose Add, then because there is no destination to be selected, it'll be inactive on the right-hand side. It can be helpful to dock or temporarily hide folders as we navigate through more complex folder structures as our image libraries grow. For example, here we see several years of folders. To hide all of the folders except the 2016 folder where I want to select the Australia folder, I can double-click on the Australia folder. Then to undock them so that I can navigate to other years, I can simply double-click again on the parent folder, in this case, the year. If you don't need to see the previews of your images, you can click in the lower left in order to minimize the import window. We can click again in order to expand it, or tap the / key. Now, if you find that you're using the same settings over and over when you're importing files, it might be to your advantage to create an import preset. I'll click where it says None, and I've already created some presets. We'll start with the Add Photos 1-to-1 metadata. We can see that the Import option is set to Add. It'll build previews at 1-to-1, and it's going to import my metadata. I have another preset that will copy the files to a specific folder, again building 1-to-1 previews and including my metadata template. So in order to create a preset, just set the settings that you want, and then from the drop-down menu, choose Save Current Settings as New Preset. Give the preset a name, and then choose Create. All right, I'll choose Done. And let's take a look at choosing the destination for imported files before clicking the Import button. If, for example, I wanted to import additional files into the Greenland folder, I can right-click and then choose Import to this folder. When the import dialog is displayed, we can see that it's navigated automatically to that destination. All right, if Lightroom Classic is already aware of a folder and then additional images are added to that folder via the operating system, Lightroom doesn't automatically import the newly added images. But if we want to make Lightroom aware of them, again, we can right-click, but this time choose Synchronize Folder. Lightroom Classic will look at the contents of that folder, and if there are any new images that it's not aware of, it will show them here in the Import New Photos. For now, I'll choose Cancel. And finally, Lightroom Classic has the ability to automatically import files using a watched folder. I'll choose File, and then Auto Import, and I'll select the Auto Import settings. Here I can choose a folder to watch, so I've set up a folder on the desktop called Watched Folder. Then we need to pick a destination. When Lightroom Classic is watching the folder, any new photos that are placed into that folder will automatically be moved. So here I've chosen to move those files to that same Image Vault folder, but in a new folder called 2024. Then I could rename the files on import, add develop settings and metadata and keywords, and choose what size initial previews I want to build. When I'm ready to enable auto import, I can use the option at the top, or I can click OK, and then return to the File menu, choose Auto Import, and enable the Auto Import. If we switch to the Finder, and we look in this Pairs folder, I can select these 3 images, and then move them into the Watched folder. As soon as I move them into the Watched folder, Lightroom will then move them to the 2024 folder inside the Auto Imported folders. And when we return to Lightroom Classic, we can see in the folder panel, here is the folder, and there are the 3 images from the Watched folder. Excellent. I'm Julianne Cost. Thanks for watching.